Or horror movies. But yeah, make sure that
and horror movies. Joey loves horror movies, so.
Jim, is this your only panel? Is this the only panel? This is the only panel that Jim was on, which is so pathetic. I apologize, first of all.
This is what I wanted. I was like 6 in San Diego, man. I just wanted to like have beers. This is
perfect. Well, but also this is an opportunity to speak with Tim too. So
I worked during San Diego and watched all the results come.
We didn't want to go to San Diego because we wanted to save it all for here.
Yeah.
Who likes Skittles?
Go to our first question here.
Oh, hello. Is it on? Yes. Hi, my name's Dustin. Long-time listener, first-time panel inquirer, I guess. I guess this question's for anybody, all you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Just people.
I'm not an animal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's
I voted for
awesome.
Obama. It's a new America. It's cool, man. All right.
Of course, our panel. No, the only panel. Yeah, I was going to say, this panel.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
It's okay. If anybody that's listening to our podcast knows that's alright.
No, we're the only panel that has a race war breakout in the Q&A.
Pure love. Everybody love everybody. ELE.
I'm a little upset about your half Jew comment. Upset, so it's
What? Are you Jewish?
No.
That's why he loves it.
That's why I'm upset.
I have been converted once. So my question is actually about just podcasting in general. You talked a lot about the nuts and bolts of starting, but how do you build listenership? It sounds like kind of.
I don't know. You tell us now.
Stylistically, I know you guys kind of have the same sound as playing in Peoria, so it sounds kind of like you're trying to build to like that level of things. Like, do you try to get more interview guests? Do you try to pick topics or things? How do you go about it?
Okay, yeah, I think there's a couple ways. First of all, one of the important things I think is it has to be very clear on the show that you're having a good time. There's a lot of dry stuff, and I think that content is a huge part of that. But also, like, the guests, I think there's a great way to do it. We have these great guests on who are really, really well connected, and one thing is, when you present, especially if you're going to do a comic podcast, that you're just there to help promote other people's work. I think that's one of the reasons we've been successful and popular, is that it's been made very clear that what we want to do is really promote and get these words out. We want to help people out. So when that becomes clear, you bring in these guests who have, a lot of these guests, like we've had bands on, I Fight Dragons was just on the show, and they have a network. You got a guy like Tim who's got a reputation amongst and a following and things. You bring on these guests who have these already set in things. Like here's the recommendation: is have as many people as you can on one show. There's an art collective in Chicago called The Cartel that features Joey Potts and a bunch of other guys, Veggie Something, and Sean Smith and Seanimals and all these really cool Chicago artists.
Speaking of which, he's doing a signing at the Royal Fuji booth at 2, so we should all go out there.
Yeah, check him out. He's on. But we had 12 guys on that show, and 12 guys know a lot of people. So if you want to increase listenership, and with the podcast, every person counts because it's such an interesting medium. So I would say that that's the best way to do it, is have guests on and get connected, and then just email and sponsorship helps with that and things like that. And I really think if you're going to do a podcast, you should support it with a blog. I really feel that that's a great way to get listenership, is that you have both, is that you have something else going on and you can lead people to the podcast, because it's hard to just be like, we're a podcast, and then have people find you on iTunes. You need something out there like a website as advertisement for your voice, I think.
That's absolutely right. My advice would be twofold. Number one, set yourself up to win. Number two, stick to your guns. And I mean, but number one, but the thing is like when I say set yourself up to win, we have created a podcast which is based upon the premise that we're going to sit around and get drunk and make dick jokes, but also happen to talk about action figures or comic books or movies or whatever. And the thing is that's what we do anyway, So the thing is like, don't do something which is unnatural if you're going to start your own podcast. Just make a podcast about something that you like doing, And number two, stick to your guns in the sense that if you're looking at your Google Analytics bullshit or your Podcast numbers or whatever, and you're like, only X, Y, Z number of people downloaded this last week, fuck that, Stick to your guns. You have an identity, and it's an important thing, and it's, at the end of the day, none of us are going to become like celebrity millionaires, except for Max and I. And
Celebrity millionaire.
but the point being is, this is a hobby. You're here to have fun. Stick to your guns. This is your art. Don't ever let anyone, by your lack of positive reaction from people, affect the fact that you're doing what you're doing. So.
And even one listener is good, really. Even one person listening to what you have to say is an accomplishment. I mean, it's so cool. Like, and the internet's great because the numbers are so cranked up high because you have so much access to so many people. So like, even one listener, or 2 listeners, that means 2 people are listening to what you have to say. I don't get that at work. So like,
This is what I have to say.
yeah, really, nobody listens to what I have to say. So, all right, and thank you very much. Here, come on up. You win a Chicago Comics ashtray.
Do you smoke?
Do you smoke?
I'll start.
All right. That's hilarious, yeah. Dude, that's like, our airport's crazy. All right. Well, that's great, man. That's
You're a
hilarious.
winner.
Thank you very much for asking questions.